if we want our neighbours to stop doing Halloween, stop messing around with the occult, stop being superstitious, where do we begin? We could put leaflets through their door. We could try getting Halloween banned. Hey, Oliver Cromwell did it with Christmas. Or if we really want to do something effective to stop the practice of paganism, maybe we should stop practicing it ourselves. People don't do spells and superstitions for nothing. They're driven to do so by fears and insecurities that just will not go away. Will I have enough to survive? What if it all goes wrong for me? What will happen to me? That kind of thing. And since we can't live with fear, any god or demon or addiction, so long as it enables people, however briefly, to forget about those fears, to feel that they've done something, however inadequate, to deal with the situation. Of course, inevitably, the fear comes back, whereupon rinse and repeat. Fear without faith makes fools. That's fools in the biblical sense of the fool says in his heart, there is no God. But we have faith, right? We know that Jesus is the answer. Take it to the Lord in prayer and all that. Except no, he isn't the answer. Not in Luke 12 verse 14 he isn't. Look it up. He won't let himself be the answer if the question is, how can I get my hands on all the money I want? He won't let himself be the answer if the real top and bottom of our creed is in stuff we trust, or money makes the world go round. When someone calls out from the crowd, someone who believes that all those fears will just go away if he can just get his brother to cough up the cash, Jesus rules himself out. And he tells a story about a fool. Now that is a bit of a giveaway. This man's fears have just made a fool of him in front of all those people. Still, it could be worse. Rather than just leaving him to find the money somewhere else, Jesus looks to set them all free from those fears. And he does this firstly by exposing the greed delusion. What fuels greed, what makes it impossible to persuade even the mega rich, is that they've got more than enough to live on. Is this promise that if you keep piling up wealth, then one day you will have enough to deal with whatever may happen tomorrow. Of course, that's such a clever trap, because no one knows what will happen tomorrow, so the pile is never big enough. Never quite complete. But so long as people think they're making progress towards that goal, they can't possibly give anything away. Well, can they? Jesus has you imagine this one guy who nearly gets his hands on the big prize. He's got enough now to cover every eventuality. At last he can eat and drink and be merry. Except, no, he can't. This very night his life will be demanded from him. So the pile he just about finished hasn't actually brought him a single second of freedom from fear. Game over. If we don't want those fears to make fools of us, we have to trust that Jesus means what he says with the command, do not worry. He's not being flippant or uncaring. He does know how significant food and clothing are to us, because he's been among us, and he's been both hungry and he's been naked. And he's not saying, try not to think about these things either, because that never works out, does it, really? No, he's commanding us to think of the essentials first. Now, no serious warrior could argue with that strategy. And then he points out that having enough to eat and clothes to wear is not the same as having life sorted. So hadn't we better aim a lot higher? And we can do that starting from the conviction that God is our provider, the same creator God who makes such an unnecessarily excellent job of providing for the ravens and the lilies. That one, the only one. The God who gave his only son for us because he so loved the world. He is our provider. As Paul says in Romans 8:32, how will he not also, along with him, graciously give us all things? With this faith, fear starts to evaporate. And it continues to do so as we set our sights higher than just a personal pile of cash, to meet the unknown needs of tomorrow. Instead of that, we can aim at his kingdom coming, which it will. But it can be something like, for us, that we're early investors, in his kingdom, as we liquidate our assets to bring about kingdom come outcomes right now. Not afraid to do so. Verse 32, because our Father has been pleased to give us the kingdom. Well, either that, or just like the pagans, we could worry. All that effort, zero added value. Is that really a plan? Well, we know it isn't. But fear without faith makes fools. Let's not allow it to make fools of us.